Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Their competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three, got it!
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound. Tap it in. 1 point more to go.
The opportunity to play, put Oregon on your chest, should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field, back toward the wall. Gone!
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, let's talk Oregon athletics.
We've got details on the Oregon football spring game as the Ducks get ready for another season at Autzen Stadium. And also this week, National Signing Day is approaching. Now, certainly it is a much different day, signing day now, than it was 5 years ago with the onset of the early signing period, the addition of the transfer portal to a roster manager's to-do list. All of those things have certainly changed, but what I love about it is that it gives us an opportunity to celebrate Oregon football. That's what we're going to be doing on Wednesday. So, details on the spring game. Details on all of our signing day festivities. Also, congratulations are in order to men's basketball head coach Dana Altman. His 150th career Pac-12 win. Love to see it. And he did it in relatively quick fashion. I want to break down all 150 of those victories. We've got that for you coming up on today's show. And a full weekend review of track and field, tennis on the men's and the women's side. And then women's basketball. They played Stanford tough, but still didn't feel like they played their best game, which tells you a lot, doesn't it, about this team and where their potential lies. So we'll break all that down for you over the course of the show today. Spring game, April 29th. The Oregon football team's annual spring game has been scheduled for Saturday, April 29th. And will kick off at 1 p.m. Pacific time at Autzen Stadium. The game, of course, will be on the Oregon Sports Network with Jerry and Georgie on the call, and will also be broadcast on the TV side on Pac-12 Network. Admission to the spring game is free again this year. Fans are encouraged to bring non-perishable food items to donate to Food for Lane County. It is one of the best partnerships that the University of Oregon Athletic Department has. The Food for Lane County support is just outstanding from this community, and I love that we're continuing that with the Oregon football spring game. Parking passes for the spring game, this is important, are on sale now. Current 2023 season ticket holders can enter the promo code 23FBSGP upon signing in to receive 50% off your parking passes. All passes are digital and viewable through the GoDucks Game Day app. You might be listening to this show on the GoDucks Game Day app right now. If you go to GoDucks.com, within the article about the spring game, you can click here, click on the link, and then you can purchase your parking pass. That's important. 1 o'clock kickoff on April 29th for the spring game. Now, the Oregon baseball team is also playing Arizona State that day. You can get tickets for that game as well, and it's usually one of the most fun days of the year when we've got the spring game leading right into Oregon baseball. Maybe you're going to do a little tailgating before and afterwards at the ballpark. We're all there for that. And by the way, have one for the broadcast crew. Have one for each of the members of the broadcast crew. We appreciate the support, and you know, we're with you in spirit. Yep, that's the plan for the spring game. More details on the spring game and the format of the game, how it's going to be played. The Ducks will figure that out as spring practice unfolds in the next few months. And you can secure your 2023 football season tickets now by visiting GoDucks.com/FBTIX. Season tickets start at only $249, and before you know it, it's going to be September 2nd, and the Ducks are going to be playing Portland State. Then they're going to be playing Hawaii, and then Coach Prime is going to be here with Colorado on September 23rd. The first Autzen experience is also the first Pac-12 game for Deion Sanders. And then, of course, Washington State, Cal, USC, and Oregon State. That's the home schedule for the Ducks in 2023. Speaking of signing day, and speaking of Oregon football, and again, April 29th has been announced as the official date for the Oregon football spring game with a 1 o'clock start time. The National Signing Day special that we do in the morning every year, it sort of kicks off the day's programming. So if you've forgotten or if you're not familiar from years past, there's generally a number of different things that happen on signing day. Well, first of all, the staff is busy putting together the final touches on the recruiting class. The second thing that happens, they come in here into the Country Financial Studio, and they talk with us on our National Signing Day special presented by McDonald's and McDelivery. What do we do on that show? Well, we talk about all the new recruits, and this time around, we've got 2 new coaches to introduce you to as well, because the Ducks have, of course, added a new offensive coordinator in Will Stein. He will be with us as part of the National Signing Day special. And this year, we're finalizing all the details. We're going to be introducing Will Stein and co-defensive coordinators and safeties coach Chris Hampton. And we'll also have Coach Lanning in here, and we'll do a breakdown of the recruiting class and an update on where things stand for Oregon football. Marshall Malco, the chief of staff for the Ducks, is going to join us as well, talking about roster management, how the Ducks go about things in this modern era of college football. That National Signing Day special will be broadcast on Facebook Live via Oregon Football, the Go Ducks YouTube, and via the Oregon Football Twitter account as well. And then we'll have all those interviews for you. Those of you who usually tune in to Duck Insider on the radio side, we will have those interviews for you on Duck Insider throughout the week as we review the Oregon football signing class. That show will be from 8 to 9 in the morning. That's our schedule, from 8 to 9 in the morning on Wednesday. Coach Lanning's press conference later on that day, and then the big event up in Portland at the Nike World Headquarters. GoDucks.com/NSD23. All the details on all these various signing day events. And then I do want to remind you that this year it'll be a little different. We're actually going to have one event going on in Portland on signing day, Wednesday, and then next Tuesday, 8 days from today, at Matthew Knight Arena, a similar event celebrating Oregon football at Matthew Knight Arena. GoDucks.com/NSD23 for all the details on the various signing day festivities, because there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on. National Signing Day coming up. So, Oregon football spring game on April 29th, and the National Signing Day special at 8 o'clock. And Coach Lanning will join us here in the Country Financial Studio, in addition to Chris Hampton, Will Stein, and Marshall Malco. That's the plan. Oregon men's basketball. Trying to keep that door open. Oh, wait, this was funny. William, he says, you're with us in spirits. William, that humor was right up my alley. That was great. Scott just said that was top shelf humor. Oh, so many dad jokes. I'm allowed to make those now. You know, that's great. I'm allowed to make those now. Anyway, the Ducks trying to keep that door open for an at-large resume, or an at-large berth with their resume, I should say. Just a good win over Utah over this weekend, huh? I think that you got to be encouraged with what Oregon showed against the Utes. They were really smothering defensively, a 68-56 win, and, you know, it really wasn't that close. Like, sure, a 12-point win is impressive. It could have been more than that. And here's a few reasons why. So, first of all, the Ducks shot 47%. Utah shot 28%. And 35% from three, but still 28% overall. 84% at the line, though, the Utes were 16 for 19. The curse continues. I don't understand it. It is mind-boggling. The Ducks, whoever they're playing, they have their best performance of the year at the free throw line. I'm going to ask Coach Altman on Tip-Off Tuesday tomorrow. Tip-Off Tuesday coming your way tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to ask Coach Altman, like, does he need me to talk louder from the scorer's table? Like, should I be yelling, like, Colorado for free throws? Like, is that what I need to be doing? Because this is ridiculous. Like, anyway, The Ducks, though, did end up spreading the wealth really effectively. Will Richardson had 12 points. Jermaine Couisnard had 18 points, another impressive performance from him. And then Quincy Guerrier, Nate Biddle, and N'Faly Dante all scored 9. And Dante had 10 rebounds, and Biddle had 6. Biddle also with another impressive, I felt like, defensive performance with 3 blocks and 1 steal in 19 minutes. Got in a little foul trouble, but I thought he was good. Back-to-back games where Biddle has been excellent. He's going to be our guest, our student-athlete featured on Tip-Off Tuesday this week, so come back for that as well. But either way, N'Faly Dante really toughed it out, I felt like. Really toughed it out. He probably wasn't 100%, was a late scratch in the game against Colorado, and the Ducks were able to get it done without him in that game, and then in this game, I felt like he toughed it out. Again, Nate Biddle, back-to-back games where he's building towards something. And then I mentioned the 18 for Couisnard. I mean, Jermaine Couisnard, that's his 4th game in double figures this season. He did it on 7 of 14 shooting. It's his 3rd game with at least 18 points for the Ducks, and he had 10-plus points, actually, in both games against Utah. And I was thinking about this, that Oregon really, I thought, needed him in the first game against Utah, and then the Ducks really needed him in the second game against Utah. That's been the formula for a sweep of the Utes. The first conference sweep for the Ducks of any kind this season, and the 7th home sweep of the Mountain Schools in the Pac-12 era. The Ducks are 17-3 at home against the Mountain Schools in the Pac-12 era overall. They're 8-2 against Colorado and 9-1 against Utah. They're really good at home in the Pac-12 era against these teams, but haven't been perfect on the road, for sure. More on that in a second. The Ducks have won 4 of their last 5 conference games, though. And that's where I think that dud of a performance against Stanford really hurts you. You know, we might be having an even different conversation about a postseason resume if it wasn't for that game against Stanford. But in any case, it's Oregon's 11th straight win over Utah. Colorado is Oregon's kryptonite. Oregon is Utah's kryptonite. It's crazy. It's actually wild. The Ducks shot 46% from the field, actually nearly 47%, and they've shot over 40% in all 7 conference wins. It's also defensively the fewest points allowed in a Pac-12 game this season for the Ducks, and it's the second Pac-12 game holding an opponent under 60 points. Oregon 4-0 in Pac-12 play when holding an opponent to 60 points or fewer. Doesn't surprise you, right? 70 tends to be that magic number. 60, even better. Will Richardson, I want to mention him again. He's had double figures in 7 of his 9 career games against Utah, and Will Richardson has never lost to the Utes. That's like Peyton Pritchard never losing in Seattle, it feels like. You know, like you just have that one moment where you're like, wow, that individual was really good in these times. Now for Coach Altman. This is a cool win. So I want to tell a story that I hope he doesn't mind me telling. And if he does, then if he doesn't show up for our Tip-Off Tuesday interview tomorrow, then you all know why. Okay, so Coach Altman sits down, and Will Patterson, who is the sports information director for Oregon basketball, he puts together game notes. You know, keeps track of records, record books, those sorts of things. We talked about it on the show before. And if you're not familiar with the game notes, you can always go to GoDucks.com. You actually, as fans, can read the game notes, some of the same information that I keep track of during broadcast. So Will had printed copies that I use, and then Coach Altman usually likes to look at them. So Coach Altman sits down, and I don't know why, but this was at shoot-around. So after shoot-around wrapped up, I was getting ready to do my interview with Coach. He sits down, and he looks at him, and he realizes that it was going to be his 1100th career game. I don't know why Coach Altman just thought to look at his career record, but he did some math, and he went, wow, this is my 1100th career game. So then me being me, I was like, well, Coach, I don't know. Do you know where you are in Pac-12 games? Because this was something that we didn't – Will did not put this in the men's basketball game notes because he didn't want to jinx it. But it was something I was keeping track of as well, that it was, you know, Coach Altman had won 149 conference games, and this was something we were keeping track of. Well, Coach Altman just kind of goes, nah, I don't know where I'm at. And I said, well, your next Pac-12 win actually is going to be 150. And he just kind of shrugged, and he was like, man, I'm getting old. And I thought, well, that's a very Coach Altman thing to say. If you've ever talked with Coach Altman, shoot, any of you who listen to this show, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Well, he got it done. He got to 150 conference wins. And I know that sounds sort of like an arbitrary number a little bit, like getting to 150. But get this. Coach Altman is only the 11th coach in the history of the conference to ever get to 150 Pac-8, Pac-10, Pac-12 wins. Now, certainly there are more conference games played each year now. I recognize that, than in the Lute Olson, Heck Edmondson, John Wooden, Ralph Miller eras. There are more conference games now played. But Dana Altman now, it took him 229 games to reach 150 conference wins. The only coach in the modern era, if you will, of the conference, the Pac-12 era of the conference, the only coach that got to 150 wins faster than Dana Altman was Sean Miller at Arizona, who's 150 and 68. So isn't that kind of odd that Sean Miller's Pac-12 career as it stands right now ended at 150 career wins? It was a weird oddity that it worked out that way. But Coach Altman, it took him 229 games to get there. It's the 6th fastest to get there ever, and it's the 2nd fastest in the Pac-12 era. The quickest ever to 150 career victories was Lute Olson at Arizona, then Heck Edmondson, then John Wooden, then Ralph Miller, then Sean Miller, and now Dana Altman. And to put that in perspective, he got there faster than names like Mike Montgomery, Slats Gill, Marv Harshman, some big-time names around the Pac-12 and Pac-10 and Pac-8 Conference Hall of Fames. Now, how did Coach Altman get there? Well, listen to this. Here's Dana Altman's conference record breakdown. Regular season games only, all right? Dana Altman is 18-2 against Utah. Won 90% of his games. USC, Coach Altman is 15-5. 75%. He's 15-6 against both Washington and Washington State, 17-8 against Oregon State, 13-7 against Arizona, 13-8 against Stanford, 12-8 against Arizona State, 12-9 against UCLA, 11-9 against Cal, and the only team in the regular season that Coach Altman does not have a winning record against as it currently stands is Colorado. He's 9-11 against Colorado. Coach Altman's won over 65%, nearly 66% of his games in the regular season. 150 Pac-12 wins, big deal. That's a really, really big deal. My thanks to the Pac-12 Research Department for helping us with that as well. Greg Moreau and his crew, just awesome information to double-check a lot of these things. And congratulations to Coach Altman, man. That's impressive, to say the least. And in very Coach Altman fashion, after I was the one that told him that, and he looked through, I showed him some of the winning percentages, and first thing that he noticed is, well, we gave up 1 or 2 against these guys. Should have had more against these guys. I'm not kidding. That was like the first thing that he says when I showed him that list at shoot-around. Now, then the Ducks got it done. I congratulated him post-game, and he said, well, I wish we would have gotten there a little bit quicker. Still, congratulations nonetheless for Coach Altman. And when we come back, let's hear from Dana Altman following his 150th Pac-12 win. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
We are back inside the Country Financial Studio. Oregon men's basketball with a nice victory over Colorado. And where they sit now, 7-4 in Pac-12 play. I said Colorado. Also a nice win over Colorado and a win over Utah. Utah still a half a game ahead of the Ducks in the Pac-12 standings. And then Arizona 8-3. That's Oregon's next opponent. So UCLA is 8-2, Arizona 8-3, USC 7-3, Utah 8-4, Oregon 7-4, Arizona State 6-5. That's where things sit in the Pac-12 standings right now. And the Ducks are number 59 in the net rankings. Got to keep getting wins. That's what it's going to take. Let's hear from Dana Altman postgame. It's brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. Coach Altman with the media.
Well, that's the lowest you felt a Pac-12 opponent in almost 4 years shooting, Dana, and I know second chance points is probably about half of their points there still. So when you've been looking for effort and you get that kind of response, what's the feeling like?
No, I thought we played really hard. I thought we got really good minutes from Luke War off the bench. Nate played really hard. Dante, offensively, that first half was really good. And Dante in limited minutes, 10 rebounds. So I thought we played really hard. Guys did a good job. We used our bench, and I thought everybody, made a contribution. But, I always take the plus minus. You got to look at the film and see who was all in there and the circumstances. But, Luke War, without scoring a point, plus 17, and I just remember the play, he got knocked down, he popped right back up and made a stop. It was a great effort play.
You mentioned the other day all the teams that you're chasing, you still got to play. This is the first of 5 in a row against those teams. Just how do you feel about where you guys are at against entering this pretty critical stretch?
I don't know. I think we got to get ready to play the next one. I don't want them to look at it as a stretch and just the next game. Very talented teams coming up. Tough road swing to Arizona, so the guys just need to take tomorrow and get in rehab and work with Clay and recovery and try to get as healthy as we can. And I watched a little bit of Arizona the first half against Washington, and how hard they're going to play. So Thursday night will be a very difficult game for us.
Got some guys step up big in the surprise Dante injury, out rebounded by I think 9 tonight. Or do you feel like they're starting to turn a corner that you want them to be in terms of effort, rebounding, stuff like that?
Yeah, I thought we did some really good things, being a +9 on the boards. They're a very good rebounding team. The second chance points kept them in the game. They had 10 at halftime and ended up with 19 for the game. I was disappointed in that because we could have had a great rebounding effort and not giving them a chance to stay in the game. So I am pleased overall, but, you know, looking at the film, there's a lot of opportunities we didn't block out, and our block out numbers probably weren't very good because they had 19 second chance points.
Danny, can you see yourself using that Dante Biddle rotation more now instead of, you know, a couple weeks ago they were starting together? But...
I don't know. I don't know what we'll do. You know, Dante, just a class move, come in to my office this morning and, you know, Coach, I'm going to play, but start the same team. I'll come off the bench. We played good last game, so just bring me off the bench. You know, he didn't have to do that. And so I know one guy, you know, who really thinking about the team. When he said that this morning, he goes, Coach, I'll come off the bench. You know, those two guys started, they did a good job, so I'll just come off the bench. And I like that. I mean, I just, you know, in this day and age, everybody wants to start, everybody wants to go out there and dance and do all this silly stuff. And, you know, when a guy just, hey, I want to do what's best for the team, and then he comes in that first half and played, you know, 4 for 5, did a great job. And then they went to his zone because they couldn't stop him. You know, the reason they went to the zone is they couldn't stop Dante. So he'll get healthy now. He fell down on that one turnover and kind of bumped his knee, and I saw him hobbling a little bit, so I didn't want to take any chances there with 3 minutes to go. But he's going to get healthy. He's going to have a good stretch here.
You get a sense that this team's kind of buying into their roles and
oh, I don't know. I'm not going to make any bold predictions about anything. We won a couple games, and now we got to get ready for Arizona. But I do like what Nathan did the last 2 games. I thought Luke War, you know, really did a great job defensively, 4 boards in his minutes. So, you know, I know those 2 guys bought into what I was asking them to do. And, you know, I think Rivaldo's really taken the role of trying to get stops. So I really appreciate that. We got to tighten up the handles, you know, a little bit. We had some careless turnovers there late again. But we just got to keep grinding. We got to keep getting better. And, you know, we got some depth. And this is the time of year that it can really be beneficial to use that depth. So.
Sorry.
That's right.
What in particular have you seen Nate doing kind of markedly better those last 2 games?
Well, I just think his defensive activity has been so good. He had 3 blocks tonight. I thought he really jammed up the middle good. He contested shots for us. Got 6 rebounds in 19 minutes. So that's a big plus. No turnovers, 1 steal. You know, that's a pretty good line. So. But I think his defensive activity has improved so much. His sliding his feet a little bit better. Got to run a little bit better. You know, he can get up and down a little bit quicker. But you know, he's really done a good job defensively.
How critical has Luke been for you guys, Dan? That not only when you had to play him out of necessity in November and December, but when you finally have the depth back and his minutes naturally go down, but yet he comes off the bench and does that tonight. To not just have play where it had to be there, but play where you're asking for it, and he delivers something like that. How critical has he just been to this team this season as a cog in the wheel?
Well, I think he's done a lot of good things, and for him to keep his head up, you know, he was playing, and then, you know, guys came back, and his role got reduced. A lot of guys just pout, you know, and quit or whatever, but he's stayed with it in practice, and, you know, I kept telling him to stay ready. And then Dante went down, and he played good the other night. Gave us 5 points in the critical stretch and played good against Colorado. And thought he played really hard, and I watched the film, and he didn't hurt us. He helped us in every regard the other night. So tonight, you know, I was going to play him. He earned it. And so it's one thing you still got to do is you got to earn your time. And he earned some playing time from his performance in Colorado and the fact that he kept practicing hard, and you know, it's not easy for anybody to go to the bench, you know, but he kept practicing hard, kept playing hard, and when he had an opportunity, he did a great job.
Is that example and also that competition a direct example to show Khalil right now?
It's for all our team. It's for all our team. You got to stay ready. And, my job is to evaluate and put the team that, as a coaching staff, we feel give us the best opportunity to win and that we'll play hard. So tonight, that was the group I went with, and that can change Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday if guys get ready. But you still have to perform. You still have to play hard. And I thought Luke did a tremendous job in the Colorado game, and he's been practicing well, so that's why he got the opportunity tonight.
What was your message to the guys at halftime?
That if we rebound the ball a little better, we'd be in great shape. They had 25 points, and 10 of them were second chance. And I think 12 of them were. I think the stats were wrong in our calculation on the bench. They had 12. So, I thought we did a lot of good things, but we gave up too many second shots. And a lot of their threes were off those second opportunities. We were all under the basket. They rebound, kick it out. Got a couple of those open threes from that.
Although your team went back-to-back and won 2 games very few times this season, do you still feel a little bit hesitant when you guys go out to play about what team is going to show up, the team that showed up tonight or the team that has showed up before that hasn't played very well?
Sure. No, heck, consistency is something that we have prided ourselves on in recent years, or the 13 years we've been here. Consistent effort, not getting too high, not getting too low. And we've had some bad performances. So, that consistency and that, you earn that through practice, and we give ourselves an excuse because we had some injuries, and that's true, but the guys that are there still have a job to do. And at times we haven't done that. So we're in the position we're in on January 28th because we put ourselves there. We haven't been as consistent as we should be. And over a lot of years, that's something I always thought our program, getting beat double figures, is not something that it's just not acceptable. Not with this group. We got beat sometimes, and that bothers me more than anything. We had a lot of sleepless nights just because, you look over the years, not a lot of people beat us double figures. And so that's bothered me probably as much as anything. And it's bothered our former players. They've been in touch with me about it, and I agree with them. We spent all this time trying to do something and expect a certain standard. And I'm so proud of all the guys that have left here, and whether they're playing overseas or they're playing hard, and that's our expectation.
Last question. I feel like we're seeing the help that Keyshawn and Jermaine can give Will, where night in you don't have to rely on Will to score and distribute for everybody.
No, we really, key tonight, 2 assists, 1 turnover. Will, even on a night he didn't shoot it well, 7 assists, 2 turnovers, or excuse me, that was, Will had 7 assists. Jermaine had 4 assists. So, yeah, we get some different people with assists. Like I said, you take Jermaine's last 2 turnovers out and the silly foul at the end there on the 3-point shooter. He really did some good things. But a vet player like that shouldn't make those mistakes. And he knows that. I mean, he's a basketball guy. He knows he can't make those mistakes late in the ball game. So, but no, those 2 guys, and Brennan gave us good minutes tonight. I liked what he did. Knocked down a shot, but no, I liked what he did. So, a lot of guys trying to contribute, fight through some ups and downs, but we're going to have to play our tails off. Everybody knows that, and so we got to go down and make up some ground. So hopefully our guys get ready for that.
7:30 in Tucson, Oregon men's basketball on Thursday, 7 o'clock pregame show here on the Oregon Sports Network. We've got a lot more to come, including some of the guys that made a big impact in the wins over the weekend. Man, it's nice to be able to say wins, plural, again, isn't it? When we come back, going to hear from Jermaine Couisnard and Luke War on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota's got 20 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action, and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/22.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
Dear winter, Toyota's got 20 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action, and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/22.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready for our little forest adventure?
Yes! So much waiting for me. Yeah, I wanna go outside. I wanna be.
We're here.
Whoa, that was fast.
There's a forest closer than you think. Find a park or forest near you and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by USDA Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, this is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Jermaine Couisnard, Luke War, a couple of the big impact players, and you heard Coach Altman mention this about Luke War. A plus-minus of 17 in the game. Now, it's not a perfect statistic all the time, but it just gives you an idea of someone's impact beyond just how many points did they score. What about rebounds? You know, it tries to quantify it because if the Ducks were plus 17 in overall point spread when he was in the game, that's a good thing. And that's what Luke War did without scoring a point. A plus-minus of 17, and he himself did not score a point. Now, Jermaine Couisnard scored 18 points, and he had a plus-minus of 12 in the ball game. Jermaine Couisnard, Luke War, talking about the win over Utah and what's ahead for Oregon men's basketball.
I mean, this is the first of 5 straight against the teams above you in the standings. Just how do you feel about kind of starting off the stretch this way and kind of where you guys are at going into the next couple weeks?
We just got to build. I feel like we just got to build, come together more, and just keep building. That's it. Get day by day, get better every day. That's all.
Jermaine, you played with great tenacity tonight. Where do you think that comes from?
I don't know. It may be the fans. I don't know. But it was cool. I know we needed this one. I know we needed toughness. And just for me, a player to do the dirty work. So that kind of got me going.
Luke, your minutes were obviously higher in November and December when there were a lot of guys hurt, and you played well at that time. How did you keep yourself mentally engaged to where when your minutes go down, when guys get healthy, you're still able to go out there tonight and give the level of effort that you did and grab 4 rebounds and get a couple of blocks and be a high-impact guy after where your minutes got trimmed down and other guys might sulk at that?
I just knew to keep my head up and, off the floor, just stay ready. I stayed in the gym, and I just believe, I'm going to get another opportunity and make the most of it and just come in and give what our team needs, So that's just how I look at it.
What's this year been like for you, Luke? Because you've played in more games this season than previous 3 years here, more minutes this year than the other years combined. Just how do you feel like this year's gone for you? Just how rewarding has the hard work been this season for you?
It's definitely paid off, more times than not. And I feel like my approach, every day has been different, so the results are different,
how do you measure your own success? And when you see something like Coach Seitz, plus 17 in 12 minutes, I mean, how do you measure success in a game? And when you hear that kind of stat line, what does that mean to you?
It just feels great to know that, I went out there and, we made an impact, positively, and we were able to make a run, so it was big and it felt good.
Jermaine, Dana just said that Dante went in and offered to come off the bench despite being ready to play this morning. Just from inside the locker room, what does that do for a team moving forward, especially with what you guys have been through this year?
We know that everybody's just not thinking about themselves, and we know that everybody had the mentality of just everybody got one goal, so it was kind of good. We just knew that players had to step up more when he's out, because he carried a big load for us. So just everybody was ready for that. So.
Luke, they went 9 minutes without a field goal for a stretch of the second half, and you were on the floor for most of that. Do you have a sense in the course of play that, defensively you guys are doing that to a team? And do you have a sense when it feels like, hey, it's been a while since they made a shot?
Yeah, definitely. When we string a bunch of stops together, that becomes obvious, and our focus was defense, tonight, so.
What do you guys feel like the difference is between games where you come out and you play really, really great like we've seen, and games that you come out just flat? Have you guys been able to figure out? I feel like Dana would probably say that it's effort, but what do you guys feel like it is?
I just feel like we just come out flat, just standing straight up. We're not ready for the war, so I feel like that's what's gonna happen. If we don't swing first, we are this is like in a boxing match. If you don't swing first or connect, you're gonna feel it.
Your teammates on Thursday after the Colorado win said it felt like this team took a step forward in the right direction after that Stanford loss. It kind of woke everybody up. Do you get that sense?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like everybody just came. Even though we lost, we just next day, we can't hold it. That's the past, so we had to just get prepared because we got a long season ahead of us. So we just came in just day to day and just trying to get better every day.
For each of you, how do you pull out better performances, consistent performances from a teammate in Khalil, where he doesn't play tonight? Coach is obviously trying to get some points across to him. I think you, Luke, probably show as an example of what bringing effort and earning minutes means to somebody. But how do you, as teammates, when you want a player who has the talent he does, to be able to contribute more, but you also are competitors and you know about earning minutes? So how do you get that across?
We just tell him daily just what we see out there from him, and just we know how good he is and what he's capable of. He don't he's young, so he don't understand how hard you have to play at this level. Because basically he came from high school. Probably just nobody never probably told him that he had to play this hard or against people that's not even better than him. That's just gonna compete. And so he got to learn that and just take it day by day and just really listen to the older guys what we see out there.
For either one of you guys, obviously, as you move through a season, every game's treated as a must-win, but with where you guys stand, as we kind of turn the page in February, in terms of conference standings nationally, do you kind of feel an extra sense of urgency behind the scenes?
Yeah, definitely. We know what we facing, and just, like I said, we got kind of an older group, so we just, take it day by day, just try to get better, and that's it, really.
Jermaine Couisnard and Luke Bohr talking about the win over Utah. Now the Ducks hitting the road, Arizona on Thursday. A game above Oregon in the standings. This is the critical stretch. Coach Altman doesn't want him to think about it that way, but it is a critical stretch. Men's basketball, I think, in a much better position now than they were even just a few weeks ago. I wanted to play this for you as well before we get a timeout, because Jermaine Couisnard also came out and talked with me on the postgame show, and he gave a little bit of a different perspective, I thought, at times. And I wanted to let you listen in, if you missed it on the postgame show, my chat with Jermaine Couisnard. Jermaine, you like what the team did out there overall today?
Yeah, facts. I love our attention to details and how we defended, but we kind of let a couple of rebounds go over our head. Just everybody trying to aggressive crash. They shoot threes and just long rebounds. So, we work on that. We got to work on that.
I got to tell you, you just sounded so much like Coach Altman that it was scary. Coach comes out and I said, hey, you win the rebounding battle by 9, and he goes, yeah, but 19 second chance points, could have been better. What does that say about this team, that there's still a lot of potential out there?
Yeah, definitely. We just come in day to day and just grind every day, just trying to get better every day, figure out ways to get better. And just, we can't control. We only could control what we control. So That's our mindset.
You know, I'm curious, Jermaine, like, I think fans maybe can look in and go, well, you're back healthy. It's just a light switch, and everything feels good again. It takes a little bit of time, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, man, daily. I've been treatment every day, working out, rehab every day. Just even when I'm healthy, just trying to get my body to stay correct. You know, I'm a little old. I can't just go out there and play. I can't just go out there and play.
So this is the best you've felt since when?
Yeah, since last probably February, March.
Really?
Yeah. Summer don't count because it's it's everybody playing. You wake up and just work out. But yeah, I've been feeling good lately.
Keys to success for you and the whole team, maybe moving forward. Tough road trip up ahead.
Yeah, definitely. We got to come in and just think about us, not individually, just the bigger picture and what we're trying to accomplish here. So that's a win. So.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
See, you're stuck talking to me again. So, score 18 again, and I'll talk to you in Tucson.
I appreciate it.
I always joke with the guys that, if you play well, you're stuck talking to me on the postgame show, and he was. But I thought that was a great perspective, though, just on what it takes to get back healthy from Jermaine Couisnard. All right, we're going to get a timeout when we come back, recapping women's basketball and their weekend on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
This is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. You get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container, because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Talking Oregon women's basketball now. All 5 starters were in double figures at Cal, and the Ducks were able to get a win, even though it was perhaps a little closer than comfortable. But the Ducks were able to get it done at Haas Pavilion, 78-73. Then Sunday at Stanford, bit of a slow start. They did score 9 of the last points, though, in the first half to get within striking distance of the number 3 team in the country in Stanford, 27-21. They kept it close, but Stanford looked like the number 3 team in the country to me, and a season-low 25% shooting from the field, that hurt the Ducks, even with Filipina Shea logging a 12-point, 17-rebound double-double. Ducks are now 14-7, 5-5, and they even had a rebounding edge over the Cardinal. This is a young team, I think, that's still growing, but some things that they'd like back after that Stanford loss. The Ducks continue to split weekends. Coach Graves talked with Terry Johns on the postgame show.
Coach, this team battle. The shooting woes is what you cost you the game, but other than that, the team battled pretty well.
We did. We did so many good things. I told them after the game, really proud of them. I mean, we out-rebounded Stanford, really maybe the best rebounding team in the country. 23 offensive rebounds. Just shows that we didn't quit. We kept fighting. I don't know the last time they gave up 23 offensive rebounds in a game. I'm going to guess probably not in our lifetimes, and you're really old, Terry.
That's right.
You know, and Philly, what do you say about that kid? So look at the three players. You know, Grace had 11, Philly had 12, Chance had 12. Those are, you know, two freshmen and a sophomore. They came in here and they fought. You know, the bottom line is you just can't, you know, we can't shoot the way we did and expect to beat anybody, let alone Stanford on the road. But, you know, I give them credit. I thought defensively we were really good tonight.
Yeah.
We did enough defensively to win this game. We did. And I thought this was Jody's scout. I thought she did a great job in the game plan. I thought we executed the game plan. But, you know, part of the game plan isn't 20 of 80 from the field. I mean, think about that, 20 of 80. And, okay, I'm going to give you, let's say, 10 shots of those 80 that maybe weren't the best shots, you know. Maybe we could have gotten something a little better, maybe taken a good shot, made it a great shot. But that leaves 50 misses that I would take. Yeah. You know, we would take those shots. And we didn't make them. We've got to figure this out. I mean, you know, and it takes just grinding. It takes getting into the gym to get better. But the bottom line is nobody had us beating Stanford on their home floor. And I thought, like I said, we showed some fight tonight.
Cameron Brink, tough to go against, as we talked about in the pregame. 10 blocks. In fact, she had a triple-double, 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 blocks, a new career high for her. But it's a learning process to go against somebody like that, isn't it?
Well, it is. But you know what? Figure it out, okay? Figure it out, right? She's blocked 3 or 4, and we're going to keep going right at her. Instead of just stopping and taking the 8 to 10 foot pull-up jumper, you're going to make it a 5-foot contested shot over Brink. It's just not that smart. And, you know, we've got to learn from it, and I think we will. But man, we're 5-5, and we're just scratching, man. We're scratching and clawing, trying to figure a way to get some wins. But overall, I feel okay about the trip. We got a split. A sweep in the Bay is very hopeful. But you know, we need more from our veteran guards. Taya Hansen, India Rogers, Tehina Paupau. They've got to give us more. You know, they've just got to give us more. And I got to coach better. All right, I got to coach better. But you know, we'll keep grinding.
Yeah, you get to head home now with Colorado on Friday, Utah on Sunday, and two teams that are ahead of you in the standings, and you got a chance to get it right.
Yeah, these are must-wins. And, you know, we got to get Matthew Knight Arena rocking. I mean, we play a good brand of basketball. We played really good, tight home games. We're in the premier conference in the country. We got to make that a clear home court advantage. And a lot of it's on us. I mean, we got to come out and play better right from the start. But at the same time, man, we need some avid support. And we don't need the Johnny-come-latelys. Oh, everybody wanted to come out and watch Sabrina and those guys. You're either a Duck fan or you're not.
I think he's right. We need you out there. When this team goes through up and downs, the crowd can really impact it, can really, really change a game. 7 o'clock, Colorado on Friday. That's a big-time game at Matthew Knight Arena for Oregon women's basketball. All right, quick timeout. When we come back, good news on the Oregon women's basketball front. A freshman of the week on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Duck fans! The official 2022 Oregon football trading cards are now available exclusively at your local Oregon Jackson's food stores. The cards feature over 100 of your favorite Duck football student athletes from the 2022 season. Each pack contains 14 cards, and 1 out of every 10 packs will contain a special edition signed card, so be sure to collect them all to complete your set. Visit Jacksons.com for store locations.
Jacksons. Let's go.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
To your children's eyes to see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating world.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
We are back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill. We always conclude a Monday show with a 2-minute drill. And Oregon men's basketball with a good conference win over Utah. Oregon women's basketball with their split. But Oregon forward Grace Van Sluten today produced her 5th 20-point game of the season at Cal, and she was named the Pac-12 Freshman of the Week for the 4th time. The conference office announced it on Monday. Van Sluten, a team-high 20 points, 9 rebounds in that win at Cal. She just keeps racking them up, doesn't she? Might be the Freshman of the Year in the conference, Grace Van Sluten. Oregon men's and women's tennis both got their seasons rolling. I would say for the men, pretty successful. For the women, tough loss to a top 15 team. Oregon track and field set new records all across the board in throws. Oregon's a throws school now. Who knew? See you tomorrow on the show, everybody.
This is an important message from the Mine Safety and Health Administration. Mining fatalities, accidents, and injuries are preventable. Taking a minute to approach your task safely can protect you and your fellow miners from injury and death. Staying alert and focused can keep you safe. Do it safe. Do it right. Whether buckling a seatbelt or securing equipment, these quick safety measures can prevent injuries and fatalities. Take time. Save lives. For more resources, visit MSHA.gov.
Farming is dangerous. There's dangers all around us.
We go through safety training and try and do these things to make sure accidents don't happen.
You don't want to hit a gas pipe because that's your life. The other